Welcome to Audiogyan with Kedar Nimkar, a podcast that documents insightful conversations with Indian designers, artists, musicians, writers, thinkers, and creatives of all types. Catch us on iTunes or visit audiogyan.com for more Gyan sessions. Here's your host, Kedar Nimkar.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Audiogyan. I'm super excited to announce that today Audiogyan turns 2. Yes, I started this podcast exactly 2 years ago on 27th December 2016 and it's been a great journey so far. This episode will capture top 5 insights of 2018, but before that, a quick recap of past and what's coming up and how can you be a part of it. For those who have tuned into Audiogyan for the first time, Audiogyan is a weekly podcast for those interested in design and arts. It releases every Wednesday. Audiogyan doesn't celebrate the guest's accomplishments or take a trip down memory lane. Rather, it objectively documents work, case studies, first principles of individuals who have devoted their life in the field of design and performing arts. In the last 2 years, Audiogyan, through its 102 episodes, has been able to document 100 plus guests, that is almost 3,000 plus minutes of documentation, and reach 1 lakh plus listens. We also partnered with Kultureshop, Hubhopper, Storytel, and the biggest podcast partnership with DesignUp. What's coming up? Well, new branding, new website, introducing a blog, and a new series called Audiogyan Case Studies. 2 of the case studies are already live. Case studies episodes take a deep dive into one project, campaign, or a design solution. All this has taken a lot of effort and time. A special thanks to Yashwant, Nitish Mohanty, and team from Design String for helping me managing and developing this website. We also started a fundraiser campaign to keep Audiogyan going and really appreciate your small donation if you like the show. This will not only help me paying those who help me in running the show, but also will be a motivating factor. Your donations will be used for site maintenance and recordings. So do log in to keto.org/fundraiser/Audiogyan and make your donation today. Now before we begin with our top 5 of 2018, a last request. Do follow Audiogyan on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and do not forget to rate us and review us on iTunes. Oh, by the way, the new website has a section which mentions how to listen. Well, you know if you're already listening to this, but do share the link with your friends and family. Alright, here's top 5 of 2018. In conversation with India's design hero Balkrishna Doshi, I asked him why are all cities started looking the same.
So when we see now these bridges, when we see these steel structures, when we see these glass towers, it is also done by the architects. So are they really architects at all?
Or poets.
Or even poets or anybody at all, somebody who is very sensitive? No. They are the merchants of life, merchant, who is going out and selling things. He doesn't care. So you can judge an architect from what he contributes to the society or the city or to the place. If that architect himself is not a right person, then he has no right, to call himself like this because he's not creating anything. He's giving a product, and product which is insensitive to the place. A product which doesn't have any regard to what people would feel, whether they would feel chaotic, whether they would feel orderly, whether they would feel joyous, whether they would like to really feel, yes, I am now in a better place. So we don't think about it, the client don't think about it, or people who want to have it don't think about it because they are only interested in supplying a demand which is normally given at a third-rate thought. If you go to a good restaurant, maybe but somebody sensitive restaurant, and you go there and you go to our lodge and then you go to this Khanawa, other place at a restaurant, they serve you in a wrong dish, they give you quickly, somebody standing behind waiting to eat. And in another place you go and he takes you to that little place, one small corner, but there's a nice tree and there are pebbles and there's a little water tap and the water is dripping. I think this difference is very obvious.
Correct.
I asked Dhanashri Lele that what is the role of Sutra Sanchalak? How can one stay invisible yet anchor the show?
मुळात सूत्रसंचालक या नावातच सगळं काही आलं. पतंग जेव्हा आकाशामध्ये लहरत असतो त्यावेळेला आपल्याला काय दिसतं? फक्त पतंग दिसतो.
तुम्ही एक एक वाक्यात ऍक्च्युली आन्सर सांगताय.
बरोबर आहे ना. त्याचा
बरं.
मांजा नाही आपल्याला दिसत. पण सगळ्यांना माहिती आहे की मांजा आहे म्हणून तो तिकडे. सूत्रसंचालकांनी हे भान पहिलं ठेवलं पाहिजे की आपण फक्त मांजा आहोत आणि मी राहिले तर तो पतंग लहरणार आहे. त्यामुळे त्याचं ते न दिसणारं राहिलं पाहिजे आणि म्हणून आपला रोल काय आहे तर फक्त तो कार्यक्रम पुढे नेणं, एकामागोमाग एक अतिशय सुंदर जोडणी करत आणि त्यामुळे कमीत कमी बोलणं हे सूत्रसंचालकाची पहिली गरज आहे. प्रास्ताविक करण्यासाठी तुम्ही बोला की आज कुठला कार्यक्रम आहे, कसा आहे, तो का ऑर्गनाईज केला गेलाय, हे तुम्ही पहिले 5 ते 6 वाक्य, नॉट मोर दॅन दॅट. कारण नंतर मग जो प्रास्ताविक करणारा असतो ना तो बोलणारच आहे ना.
बरोबर.
तो त्याचा काय पर्पज ऑफ द शो किंवा काय असेल ते सांगणार आहेच.
While I was in Pune, I had the privilege to meet Makarand Sathe and ask him, is it possible to write critically in today's time? To which his response was,
Yeah, it is absolutely not possible, but it was difficult, as I said, nearly always. I mean, it is very easy to write very laudatory things about Shivaji. It is very difficult to be critical. The point is that if you are going to write about history, and if you are not going to be critical, I mean, I remember Mahamahoopadhyay Dattovaman Poddar saying very clearly that if I write everything that I know of Shivaji, I will be killed. And that was around 40 years or 50 years back. So it was not, it is not as if that it has happened now, but it is growing. It is growing at an alarming rate. That is certainly there. As I said, that this kind of a violence is now considered valid. At that time, at least people said, no, you should write. If there is violence, we will curtail it or whatever. Now it is said that, okay, if somebody criticizes some historical figure, it's quite right to eliminate that person.
my personal curiosity to know what makes people work on design solutions for grassroots level was answered by Professor Uday Atwankar.
There are 2-3 things that one must notice. First is that you choose to work for grassroots innovations because you want to. It doesn't pay to be there. So if I'm a commercial designer, I would not find returns on that by working there. So it's just a choice that people make. You know, it's like some people join NGOs rather than join corporate. So it's a choice that people make. Yeah, nothing in the country or a policies in the country encourages you to work for poor. That's one. The second thing is the reason why these things fascinated me is because to observe people adjusting to the life gives you lots of ideas. You know, a lot of people have created their own ways, convenient ways of solving a problem, which as a middle class person I could never have thought of.
Last but the most profound insight was shared by Amrit Gangar, a film historian, and I asked him, has film now become really a commodity?
See, primarily my argument is post-globalization. In the post-globalization time, there is so much of a tendency to become homogeneous. Globalization has brought in this homogenization of culture, of thought, and that worries me in a way. Cinema has always been a commodity. We are using many of the books or even classroom syllabi are using the word product. It's a product cinema. Now, when you're using the products, it becomes a commodity. There's a tendency to become commodity. So our vocabulary itself, we have to be careful enough, I think. Okay. And this commoditization or commodification has been a long process. It's the tension between the commodity and non-commodity, the thought and surrendering to the market. The market, as I see now, has become a big octopus. Market has become a monster, which was always there, but still now technology or the globalization, the way it is operating, is a trade globalization. It's not culture globalization. Globalization was there right through ages. When Yuan Sang came to India, or Faihan came from China, they must have walked miles and miles and came to India. It was globalization.
And these were the few gems I found worth sharing. For more Gyan on design and performing arts, stay tuned every Wednesday on Audiogyan. Till then, have a happy new year and thanks for listening.
And that's it from today's Gyan session. Catch us on iTunes, Savan, Stitcher or any podcasting app you use. Do rate us on iTunes and follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Stay tuned for more Gyan on audiogyan.com. Till then, bye.